Well, Elon Musk was able to buy a presidency for $250 million, but he was not able to buy a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat despite spending $20 million of his own money and actually handing out cash to buy votes at the very end. It turned off the Wisconsin Badger State voters, and they elected a liberal to give a liberal majority to the Wisconsin Supreme Court the same day that the Democrats also had another win, which was they cut in half the lead for Donald Trump in two key districts in Florida, which also bodes well for the midterms. And then also in the same 24-hour period, Cory Booker broke the record set by that anti-civil rights Southern Senator Strom Thurmond by giving a 25-hour speech on the Senate floor on his feet. The Democrats are back. We're fired up and ready to go. We cover it all on the midweek edition of Legal AF. Take a listen.
Yep.
In a state that frankly, Donald Trump won, one of the 7 battlegrounds that Donald Trump, ran the table, as they say. But when it came to their Supreme Court and their Constitution, the Badger State said, hands off. And they found a way to flip the script because they watched because it just makes everybody feel comfortable. Yes, in a lot of states, the Supreme Court is an elected position. It's not just Wisconsin. Nevada does it that way. Sometimes it's appointed by the governor. Sometimes it's elected. And here there was an election. There were 2 judges ran against each other. They were trial level judges. And the liberal, self-professed liberal, she didn't run away from being a liberal, from being not even a moderate, and replaced another liberal there. But the guy on the other side, he dressed up like Donald Trump at Halloween. He wore a MAGA hat. He kept playing over and over again on a loop Donald Trump's endorsement of him. He clinged and gripped Donald Trump so tight, I'm surprised he didn't suffocate him. And the Democrats in Wisconsin and the national Democrats made him pay for it. And the way they did it was the big bad wolf of Elon Musk. And he spent $20 million of his own money, and that turned everybody off to try to steal that seat. Why? Because they didn't want a liberal majority because they want to take away women's rights, voter rights, and immigration rights in Wisconsin. There's no other way to put it. So what did you make of the anti-Musk vote and how that can be used nationally by Democrats? And then why don't you also touch on this new reporting that must be true because Carolyn Levitt, this press secretary, is denying it, which is that Elon Musk is being shown the door, exit stage left, because he's politically and from a political capital standpoint, he's doing terribly for the Trump administration. Why don't you tie all that together?
I mean, it was so satisfying because Musk put it all in. He put his money in. He did interviews talking about how they need to have that court because the redistricting, they can get even more Republican seats in order to have Trump's agenda. And the voters came out to say no and to save not only the state of Wisconsin, but the House, right? Because if they had been able to add more Republican seats, it would have been even harder to ever stop them. And I think this is a really good lesson. Like, it can feel demoralizing. Like, how do we stop the richest man in the world? But at the end of the day, I mean, first of all, we have to get money out of politics. We have to figure out a way to overturn Citizens United. Maine actually passed something in November ending Citizens United in their state, and that's kind of being tied up in the courts. We'll see what happened. But while we are trying to get money out of politics, this is a really good example that what money does is it buys ads. It buys people to knock on doors, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is your vote. And you can get out that vote without money. You can get out that vote because as a candidate, you're good at giving the message and people understand what you want to do once you're in office. You can volunteer to help give out the vote. And so hopefully this also inspires Democrats. Don't wait until the midterm. Start talking to people now, signing up for Democratic clubs in your area. Money doesn't always win. It makes it easier to win an election, but nothing is the same as voting. And so it was incredibly satisfying to see Elon Musk with all that money was not enough to buy the Wisconsin election. And it means there is power. There is still power, even when you're up against something as powerful as the richest man in the world. And let's take this as Democrats and do it in each election, especially in the midterms. That is going to come faster than we think.
Oh, yeah, we're here already. And I think the Florida results are also very, very, very encouraging. These are the deepest of red states. It would be like cutting the lead in half from against Marjorie Taylor Greene in the upper north. I think it's the upper north region of Georgia. We weren't going to win the Mike Waltz seat. We weren't going to win the Gates seat.
Right.
But the fact that they lost by only 15, and that people were like, only 15. That's yes, because it was 30 plus with Trump.
Yeah,
and and that bodes well for turnout. I mean, look, Florida, unfortunately, I mean, I was here in Florida originally years ago when it went Obama twice. And that was the last time we'll see in a long time Florida being a blue state. And it's no longer purple, it's just red. It's no longer a battleground state. It's just completely converted within 10 years. I'm not throwing in the towel and saying all hope is lost. And every vote, every district matters. And there's still some competitive districts within Florida at the congressional level. And all of the House is up in less than 2 years now, all. And we need the House and we need the Senate and we need to regain power.
Absolutely.
In order to counterbalance an out of control president who lurches from one constitutional crisis and one abuse of power on a 48-hour news cycle, every 48 hours. And so the fact that we were able to mobilize enough Florida Democrats and independents and dissatisfied and disaffected Republicans to have them and not be a complete and total wipeout, bodes well for the midterms. Welcome back. That's a clip. We do the full-length podcast every Wednesday and Saturday. Where else? Exclusively on the Midas Touch Network, which you can get us at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I co-founded it along with Ben Mycelis. We do the show on Saturday together. On Wednesdays, it's Karen Friedman Agnifilo, except when she's traveling or one of us is traveling. And then we always bring in the friend of the pod, one of the leading legal commentators for the network, Dina Sayegh Doll. We do everything at the intersection of law and politics you can imagine. We curate the right things you need to know. We talk about it with lawyers talking about things. They know what they're talking about. How refreshing on YouTube. The OG podcast, Legal AF, top 10 in the world. Did you hear me? That's not because of me. I mean, a little bit of me. It's a lot of you, and we're humbled by it. So follow us every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Midas Touch Network, the fastest growing and number one YouTube network in the world. But we still need your help. We're completely independent. You can also pick us up wherever you pick up your podcast from, or your audio podcast. So until my next report, my next Legal AF YouTube channel contribution, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.